Hello and welcome to a new tutorial about building Android apps without coding. In this video demo, we will look at how to create an NPS score app and collect feedback from your customers on Android without coding again. And we will store all the values from the NPS form into a Firebase database. All of this is going to be without coding, and let us quickly look at the demo. What is NPS? If you don't know what NPS is a metric that is used to measure the loyalty of customers towards your company or your store or your services that you offer, right? So the customer's perception is measured on just one question, which is on a scale of 0 to 10. How likely are you to recommend this service or this company or this product or this store to your friend or a colleague? So basis the response, customers are rated. So the scale is from 0 to 10, 0 being least likely that they are going to recommend your service or product, and 10 being highest likely. So these responses and the customers that have responded are categorized into three parts. They are promoters. Promoters are all the ones in the 9-10 rating, where they are highly likely to be your loyal customers and who want to promote your product or service. And then we have passives, ranging from 7 to 8. All the responses that we get in 7 to 8 are the passives, and then the rest of the values are detractors. So they are not likely to recommend your services to their friends or colleagues, and they are most likely the unhappy customers that you have. So, and how is the NPS score calculated? It is calculated with percentage of promoters minus the percentage of detractors. That is the NPS score. So, the more number of promoters is obviously a good uh, rating for your product or the service that you're offering. So let's quickly get into the demo. I have my phone here, and as you can see, the demo, this is how it works. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you can use this app on a tablet on your store, or you can give it to your friends to get rating on the product you offer or a service you offer. Or if you have a physical store, you can have the tab at the checkout counter, and most of the supermarkets these days have like a happy smiley icons button. That is a similar practice, and this is also a good practice. So if you look at the demo, just simple, there is one label, and by default it is 0. If the value is 0, we click on save, and then if the value is more than that, so right now I've just done for 0, so it says your rating has been received. And if I want to rate 9, I will do 9 and then click on save, and it will save. So now let me quickly show you where this is, all of this is getting saved. If I go to Firebase console, let me switch my screens for the demo. Once I'll do that once I have my screen ready with the app. So let us go to Firebase. You can go to Firebase on console.firebase.google.com. In this, I will go to my project first. So let me switch my screens for you. I have different projects here. I've just clicked on NPS project. It will load my project. You can see the responses. We are using a Cloud Store and a real-time database. So if I click on Cloud Store, it takes me to my database, and inside the database you can see the response that come in real time. So yep, so now we have let me do the demo on the app once again, and we should be able to see this filling up. So let me do 3, since 3 is not there yet. So I just did 3, so the green part is the 3, and then I'll do of 6 and click on save. We'll get a 6 value. As you can see, this is a real-time database, and the responses are getting filled here. On the left is a user ID tag that I've generated just to have unique values for each customer, so that we can calculate the NPS score more effectively. So yep, let's get into building the NPS app and also the Firebase database. Great. So as the first step, let us create the project in Firebase, where we will show all our database values that we store from the customers. So the project name is going to be NPS demo app Kodular, and I'm disabling the tracking for now. I'll just quickly do the create project. Great. now I can click on continue and go into the project, and the next step for us is to create a database. So we'll quickly go to Cloud Store, and inside this you will find a button that is called create database. Just scroll down and you should be able to see create database. So I'll just do create database. Since this is a test project for me, I am going to do test mode, but it is highly recommended that you do logged mode. So this project will not be available once I finish the demo on the video, so don't try using the API keys because they will not work. So I'll just do test mode and click enable. Once I do that, we should have our database ready. So what do we need from here? We will need the URL from here, and also I would highly recommend you to click on the gear icon and go to project settings and keep it ready. Now our next step is to go to creating the project, obviously. So we'll go to creator.kodular.io, and then from here we'll create a new project. So once the dashboard loads, I'll just do create project and then NPS demo app, and then click next, and let's keep it to default. And as you know, we prefer 6.0 as the basic one, and holy cow dot nps demo dot app is our package name, and I leave the rest of them as is. So once this loads, Kodular has an extension that is the uh, Firebase extension. So on the left, if you click on Google, you will see the Firebase database extension. I would highly recommend you drag and drop that first. And on the right, if you see, there is a token field and there is a URL field. So what we will do is in the token field, you can go to project settings and get the web API key, and then paste it here, and then go back to this and copy the URL from the real-time database that we just created. So we go back to here and paste it here, and now the Firebase integration is ready. So I'm just going to rename this to Firebase integration, just for us to be able to understand easily as we go forward building this. Now if you remember the demo of the app, let me quickly switch screens. We have on the demo, we have a label, then we have another label to show the score, and then we have a star rating, and then we have a save button, and then we have another small label which says click save if your rating is 0. So we have 1 2 3 5 elements, and also a web component which is the API. If we need the API to create the unique ID. So yep, let's get started and build this. And also remember, the screen is in the landscape mode, right? So let's go. Now that we're back here, let us quickly go to user interface and select screen 1, and I am removing these buttons. We don't need any of these buttons, so I'll just do show options menu. So yep, we remove that, and also change this to, we need to see orientation. Screen orientation by default is landscape for us, so now we have a landscape view. And then inside this we need a vertical scroll layout, just to make sure nothing goes outside the boundaries. So we'll just do vertical scroll element, and inside this we'll make this full width, and then inside this we add the label first. So just go to user interface, just add the first label, and the question for us here is change the text to on a scale of 0 to 10, sorry, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? Us can be a product or a store or your service that you offer. So we have this ready. What we will do is we'll make it a bigger one. So I'll just change it to 28, and then also make it center aligned. So text alignment is center, width is fill parent, right? So now that we have this, our next step is to add the default value, which is 0. So I'll add another label just underneath this. This also goes as full width, and then this is 0 by default, and the center alignment is done. Now I'll also add a little space between the question and the response. So I'll just drag and drop this above the, yes, above the 0 value. Right now we have a space. Now we need a star rating. So I'll just search for a rating bar and add the rating bar below the 0 value, And now here step size is 1 for us and the number of stars is 10. So we have 10 stars. By default, if the user doesn't select anything, it is going to be 0, right? So now our next step is to add a button. So we'll just search for button and then add a button here and then make it fill parent. Alignment is obviously center. I'll just do save as this and also rename this to save button. Right, so I click on save, rename it, I align it to the center, and do we need it's your choice. I mean, I'll just do fill parent, or you can do fill parent so that it expands to the full width, or you can also do 80% if you want a percentage value, right? And then you can probably also do just, I'll for this sake of this tutorial I'll just leave it to 100%. And then we have the final label that we need to add below the button, that is click on save if your value is 0, right? So I'll just do if your it is click save if your rating is 0. Okay, click save if your rating is 0. Great. Along with this, what else do we need? Let us add. So if you notice, once I click the rating and click on send, there is a pop-up that comes up. So that is the notifier. So we'll just drag and drop a notifier. It is a hidden component. It is not visible. So I'll just do alert notifier as the name of this, just for us to be able to use it easily. And then we need an API. So we will go to, yeah, you just have to search for web and then sorry web and drag and drop the web component. I'll rename it to API component. What else do we need? Along with this, we've already added Firebase DB. So yep, that is what we need. So yes, I'll just rename the second label to selected rating. So I'm just renaming these to be able to easily use them in my blocks. So make sure you do the same. So I'm renaming the star bar to star rating, and then we have save button, and the label 3 can be left as is because we are not going to touch that much. So yeah, so selected rating, if you want to increase the font size, you can, ideally it is good to increase the font size, so I'll probably do 28. And yes, we have the UI ready, and also yep, just before we get into the demo, I'll just do NPS tool. NPS is net promoter score, so NPS tool. And now just click on blocks and let's get started with developing the logic of the application. So the first step is, as you know, if you have seen the demo earlier, I am using a unique ID for every user. So for that, what I'm using is an API which gives me a unique ID. So this is the API that I'm going to use, and it gives me a unique ID. So the first step for us is obviously to create a global variable and set the API URL in that. So I'm just going to change this to UUID API and add a text in this and add the URL to it. This is the first global variable that we need, and then we need another global variable which we will set to empty for now, which is the current UUID, because we will have to reset the UUID once the value is stored in Firebase, right? So I will set this to select on text and set this to empty. The next global variable that we need is the selected rating. We will need it to show the rating label value. So, and also use it for sending it to the Firebase store if the user hasn't selected anything. So I'm just doing selected rating here and then setting it to 0. So for numbers, you can go to math block here and find the 0. Right now, the first step is when the star rating changes, we will not do anything. And but we will also have to, if the user selects on the 9th star or 10th star, we have to update the label, right? So what we will do is just click on star rating block, and when star rating has changed, what we will do is selected rating, and inside selected rating you can do set selected rating to, just attach the set selected rating dot text to the get rating. So if you hover on this, you will get the get rating block. And along with this, since you've also added a global variable, we'll set the global variable as well. So you go to variable and set the current selected rating to the same one, which is get rating. Yep. So now the next step is if the user clicks on the save button, right? So go back and find the save button and then quickly get save button dot click. And the logic is very simple here. So I'm going to add these one by one without talking much, and so that I can fast forward this in the video. But just make sure you look at what blocks I'm going to drag and drop. In this, I'm also going to use the Firebase DB that we've just created. So yep, let's go. Yep. So I'll quickly summarize what we're doing. We're just selecting, as in setting the star rating to not be clickable, so that we can store the first click or what the value has been clicked first, and then we are sending it to the database with the unique user ID and also the selected rating, and then we are showing an alert to the user saying your rating has been saved. And after this is done, we are setting back the rating to 0, and along with that we are also doing an API call to the UUID API that we've used to get a new uh, string for the unique user ID that we wanted to use, and then we are calling the API. Along with this, when the user opens the app first, or when you open the app first, the UUID is set by default, right? Unique user ID is set by default. So I'll just click on screen 1, and when screen 1 is initialized, I'll do the API call once again. So you can click on screen 1, and screen 1 dot initialized is what you're looking for. So find that. When it is initialized, what I would do is just duplicate this two pieces here and pull it here, and then also duplicate this and also pull it here. And now when the screen is initialized, you can see the UUID is set. Sorry. So yep, that's the blocks part of this tutorial, and this should run the app as desired. Just for the sake of the demo, what I'm going to do is also do the demo part of this. So what we're going to do is let me close my existing companion app, open it and link it again. So connect companion and scan QR code. I will scan the QR code. Once the QR code is scanned, I am inside this app, and yeah, as it does this part, what I'm going to do is show you how the app looks. So this is the screen that you're looking at the moment. Let me switch screens. Yep, so we have the app here. You click on this, it shows the rating, and once you click on save, it should store. So we've stored the 9 value, and now let's switch the screen quickly and go check if the value is stored in the Firebase console. Yes, and it is stored. There's actually one thing that we missed out. We are calling the API, but we are not handling the API response. I am really sorry about that. So I'm just quickly going to add the same here. So which is, you have to go to the block again, just select API component and look for when API got text. So you have to drag and drop this, and once the API has gotten text, you have to set the global UUID value, right? So you have to set this to the response content, because in the response you are just receiving a blank, just a string value and not a JSON. So we don't need JSON utils and all of that. So yep, now this time let me go back to the app. So yep, so what you do is just go to test, sorry, and do the refresh companion, and it should refresh the screen for you. And once I'm able to switch the screen for you, now I'll do 4 and click save. It says your rating has been received. Now when I go back to my Firebase, we have a rating. Now I'm just changing the rating to 10 now and saving it, just to see if we've received it, and yes, we've received it. So that's the demo to create NPS, Net Promoter Score based tool for your products or services, or a physical store that you have. Just have this on a tablet, show it to your customers and get active feedback from them. And if you like this tutorial, don't forget to drop a like below and also subscribe, because I'm going to make more tutorials and some fun tutorials as well on creating Android apps, Alexa skills, and much more. That's it for now, and see you in the next one. Peace.